Good morning, Illini. I'm Sammy St. Ledger.
And I'm Patrick Cazone. It's Friday, April 16th, and it's great to have you with us. Our last regular show of GMI, and basically a month till we're out of school. Sammy, how's that feel? You're starting, graduation's coming up.
It's weird. The nostalgia's starting to set in. Certain things are looking better than they used to. I will miss this place, but obviously very excited for the future. But yeah, I'll think about that a month from now.
Yeah, it's shocking. We're already in April. Well, we're going to cover a lot in this show today. Let's take a look. Football is back with spring play, and Marching Illini will be performing for the first time in almost over a year.
Then we're going to take a look at how a GMIer spent the last non-instructional day of the semester.
And we'll see a sneak peek of Illini student musicals show Little Women. Now we'll send it over to Scarlett O'Hara for what it's feeling like right now.
Good morning, Illini. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. What more could we ask for on this beautiful Friday? It's currently 54 degrees. We're going to see a high of 61 and a low of 39 later, and I'll be back with your full weekend forecast shortly. Back to you.
All right, well, let's get this started. The GEO is rallying support for a PhD student they say was unfairly dismissed from the university. GMI's Brad Zimmerman is here to tell us more about the case and how our campus is reacting. Brad?
Thanks, Sammy. It's only been 2 months since the campus community came to the defense of Ivor Chen, who was dismissed from the university for COVID testing noncompliance. The university reversed its decision as a result of the campus reaction. Now, another graduate student is facing dismissal for the same reason, and the campus community is once again coming to his defense.
According to the GEO, Antonio Ruiz has a medically diagnosed inability to take the university's COVID saliva test. Despite this, the Office of Student Conflict Resolution dismissed him from the university, among other sanctions, for testing noncompliance. In a statement, the GEO calls the sanctions insulting, saying it is unclear how Antonio can even remain compliant with these requirements.
I do think that dismissal is a little too much for what he is given his circumstances.
The GEO has launched a petition and email campaign to reinstate Ruiz at the university.
This is kind of the only option that Antonio has left, and it seemed to work for Ivor, so that's why we're trying this again.
Students have shared the petition while expressing their opinion on the matter using memes posted to the UIUC subreddit and UIUC Facebook groups.
We do have a rule against posting links to petitions on the site, but, I do think it is important that people know about this. We did see Ivor Chen allowed to stay in the university, and I don't think that would have happened without people passing around the petition and it becoming a really big issue, and I think this is the same caliber.
After 1 week, the petition has over 3,000 signatures. Signatories have used the comment section of the petition to explain why they signed. One individual says, "This is unfair and Antonio does not deserve this." Another individual said, "Justice for Antonio."
The GEO says that the stakes are high for Antonio, who would have to relocate to Florida if his dismissal is upheld. In a statement, the GEO says moving across the country presents a clear danger to Antonio's health and well-being. He is at risk for medical complications due to COVID-19.
And Brad, has the university yet given Antonio a deadline for when he has to be off campus?
Yes, Sammy, they have. Antonio lives in university housing, which is a contributing factor to why he was dismissed from the university. He has been given until May 13th to vacate his apartment. That's all from me. Sammy, or Patrick, I should say, over to you.
Yeah, certainly a shame they haven't reversed that yet. But is the Loyola loss burning a hole through your chest? Although the basketball season is over, spring football might make you excited for sports again. Earlier this week, students received an email saying that they could claim free tickets for the upcoming Orange and Blue scrimmage game. It'll be the first time fans will see new head coach Brett Bielema in action on the sidelines. And besides football, the men's basketball team will be celebrating during halftime for their accomplishments this season as Big Ten tournament champions. didn't get tickets, don't worry, you're not out of luck. The game will be streamed live on the Big Ten Network at 7 p.m. Monday. That's certainly exciting. First time to see Brett Bielema and the team, and just kind of see what he's got to offer. This is it's a new coach and an exciting time in Urbana-Champaign.
Exactly. And hey, what an exciting time that we're finally allowing fans back in the stands. I know it was super, obviously, different in new basketball players. They had to be adjusting constantly without fans and having some surround sound, so it felt like it. But we're excited for everything upcoming with football. And in addition to fans being allowed to attend the football game, the Marching Illini and Illinettes will be in attendance and will perform at Memorial Stadium for the first time in over a year. Good Morning Illini's Ryan Ash talked to members of the Marching Illini about how they feel about this opportunity to perform. Let's take a
This Tuesday, the Marching Illini performed live on the main quad, the first time since 2019 due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
It was super exciting just to be in this environment. It was obviously really kind of overwhelming in a way because not knowing anything and not having all the prep of the whole year and band camp coming in, but it was definitely worth it and really fun. Last fall we had our class on Zoom. And that was obviously really strange because it's not easy to play music over Zoom. So we'd have it where our section leaders would play the music and go over concepts with us, and we'd just practice on our own in the dorm.
This is the first performance we've had in quite a bit, and it felt great. I mean, I miss being here. I'm sure a lot of people miss getting to see us perform, so it's just really great to be here and to have a performance before graduation. Everything was upsetting with COVID, but everybody had to make sacrifices, and I'm just glad that we get the opportunity to perform next week at a game. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go into it without any practice, and that's okay. We're just going to have a good time, and I'm excited about it.
The Marching Illini will perform next at the Orange and Blue Spring Game on Monday at Memorial Stadium. From Urbana, I'm Ryan Ash. Good morning, Illini.
Staying on the Marching Illini, we are joined today by Barry Hauser, who's the director of the Marching Illini. Barry, it's great to have you with us. I'm just curious to start off, what was it like not being able to have this fall season and spring season and not have marching band?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Of course, we want to keep everybody safe, but, as things start to open up and we start to look at the reality of getting the band back together, it's not as easy as just, opening up the doors and away we go. So it's been difficult. I think it's been difficult on our students that they haven't had that opportunity to socialize with one another, like all students on campus and really throughout the country. So it's quite bittersweet as we start to look at things starting to open back up.
And now that the band is back together, how does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. The kind of first preview of that was this past Tuesday with the wellness day that we had and the pop-up event on the quad. We put a survey out just to see who could volunteer to play for that, and we had about 100 students that played. That was the first time that we had a group like that playing this semester. And as we start to look at some of these other events, it will be the first time since 2019 that we truly enter the stadium. So lots of excitement.
And with COVID protocols, what is that looking like for the marching band? What will be different this year than what we've seen in the past?
Yeah, we're trying to keep things as normal as possible, but as we've all experienced, the use of masks, we've actually had custom-made masks so you can still play the instrument with mask on. We've got these things called bell covers that go over portions of the instrument to make sure that we contain any aerosol emissions coming out of the instruments to keep everybody safe as well. Other than that, just everything else that, regular students, faculty, staff would be experiencing on campus, continuing to test like we all need to, and watching all those things, keeping good distance. With us being outside, science tells us that you're 20 times less likely to contract the virus outside. So in using the mask, bell covers, all the testing, we feel very good about moving forward and piecing some things together. So other than just looking slightly different like we all do, that's really the only difference.
Yeah, and we'll see you back on Monday. Really excited for that. What are we going to see on Monday?
Yeah, you know what? Your guess is as good as mine. No, we're pretty excited to see what happens. But like I said, we have not been meeting together. We haven't even put our academic class together. So we're going to have about 200 students that are going to be in Memorial Stadium. We're going to be in the east stands facing towards the press box. We're not going to have any field access, so there's no pregame or halftime performance, but we are going to play in the stands and, continue to support the Fighting Illini football team, give a great introduction and welcome to Coach Bielema and his staff. So it's kind of an exciting welcome for everybody as we get acclimated to one another.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm excited to see some Barry Hauser's My Dad chants back in the stadium.
Yep, we'll see if that's worn off or not, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Barry, that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for coming on, and we can't wait to hear the band back in Memorial Stadium.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, and go Illini.
Yes, we love Barry, and as college students, internships are also really important to us. However, recently, finding one and getting one is even harder. Good morning, Illini's Carson Gordy talked to a student who's struggling to find an internship, but isn't giving up on his future dream career.
So let's go get to this interview with Ayodasumu.
Outgoing and well-connected, Alec Bussey is one of the most active student journalists at U of I. With podcasts and website content, Alec has had a front row seat covering the orange and blue in person, even during COVID. But that virus could also be affecting his chances of securing an internship over the summer.
I think it's really difficult to just break through just because of the way the world works right now. With journalism, it's not a dying industry, but it's a shrinking industry, and I think that's no secret for a lot of people.
And COVID has accelerated that decline as thousands of newsroom jobs have been wiped out, singling a problem bigger than a summer internship. Alec, despite applying to a wide range of internships, including even covering sports gambling, hasn't gotten much traction. But for junior J.J. Kim, he believes that the skills learned in the newsroom can go further than journalism.
It really develops your writing skills to convey your thoughts clearly. That is really important in any business or any profession in general. I'm going to go to law, and then afterwards, hopefully, I can use my law and journalism degree to be a mix of both.
Public relations, law, social media, those are all viable career options that relate to the field of journalism. But for Alec, a job is simply more than a paycheck. It's about being able to cover his favorite form of entertainment.
Through different aspects of my life, sports and athletics are something that I want to have connected to me.
From Urbana, I'm Carson Gordy. Good morning, Illini.
A couple weeks ago, the university announced plans for a modified in-person graduation. What happened was that we had only a 15-minute person ceremony to spread various time slots with only 2 guests allowed. However, after revision in the COVID-19 event guidelines set by the university, 2 guests changed to 4 and included children. Those who need to update their guests can do so on illinois.marchingorder.com until April 24th. I know this was actually huge for me because initially my 2 parents were coming down, but now my sister, who graduated just last year, shout out Sydney, is actually also able to come down too. So it'll be her first time down on campus, and I'm excited that she gets to watch me graduate and my parents do too. It's going to be quite a special day.
It is, and I'm glad they added those 2 more people. It's kind of nice to have trying to get a little bit back to normal and have a couple more people see you across the stage there, Sammy.
Absolutely. All right, well, obviously, we are hoping it is absolutely beautiful weather on the day of graduation for many, or the weeks of graduation. And speaking of weather, we're going to send it out to Scarlett to see what's going on.
Welcome back. The sun is still out. There's a few dogs on the quad, so it's been a great morning for us. There's a high of 61 and a low of 39 for the rest of today. And Saturday we'll continue to see sunny skies with some clouds, a high of 61 and low of 39 again. April showers are unlikely Sunday, but hopefully we'll still see some Mayflowers soon. There will be a warm high of 62 and low of 39, and as always, a 100% chance of construction every morning. Back to you in the studio.
looking too bad this weekend. Today will be nice. Tomorrow a little bit iffy, but definitely spend some time out today. I don't know what you're up to, Sammy, but definitely get outside a little bit. Speaking of weather, students are beginning to study outside as it starts to become warmer. But maybe studying outdoors isn't your thing and you like going indoors. Good Morning Illini's Kevin Gao took it outside to the streets and asked students where their favorite study spots are on campus.
All right, so where's your favorite place to study on campus?
Study? I don't really do a ton of that, being a business major, so yeah, nowhere.
My favorite place to study is probably the quietest spot on campus. It's the ACES library because no one talks in there and it's just easy to get work done.
Sounds kind of depressing.
Nah, it's just really productive and yeah.
I probably study more often in my room, but ECEB is probably nicer and smellier.
I guess the stereotypes were right.
Yeah, they need to put some air filtration system in, or like Febreze or something.
Is it really that bad?
It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad.
I really love going to Brew Lab.
Brew Lab is a coffee shop. It's actually like half coffee shop, half bike shop. It's on like 5th and Green. It's really cool.
And sometimes I've seen that they serve coffee in like light bulbs. Or like,
they're
right, light bulbs? Or like, no, like flasks.
They're Erlenmeyer flasks.
That's
yeah.
Sciencey.
So there you have it, guys. Who knew that there were so many interesting places to study on campus? Me personally, I really like studying at the UGL, but that place isn't really the same anymore ever since COVID happened. So I guess I'll have to find a new favorite place to go study now. Wish me luck. But for now, good morning, Illini.
All right, now let's check in with UI7 News on what you should know this week with the recent production stop of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
The Johnson & Johnson vaccinations came to an unexpected halt this past Tuesday after the CDC issued a statement that they examined a rare blood clotting disorder that appeared in several recipients of the vaccine. The vaccine was given to over 7 million individuals already, with a report of 6 of these recipients experiencing this blood clotting disorder. All of those who were faced with this severe and rare condition were women who are the ages of 18 to 48. These symptoms began to appear after 6 to 13 days of receiving the vaccination. U of I senior Genevieve Zilmer received the J&J vaccine last Friday. Despite being in the affected age group, she is not worried about the possible risks.
So at first I was a little bit nervous when I read those headlines yesterday morning, but kind of after reading more into it and kind of learning more about what happened and like how many people were actually affected, I wasn't super nervous. I think I'm relatively low risk.
While there are risks, Zilmer believes this is no need for people to panic.
I just hope that people don't mistrust the vaccine because of this, because vaccines and medicine in general are kind of a process, right? And I think it's more important to get the vaccine than like not getting it.
Other than a mild headache and some arm soreness, Genevieve did not experience any major side effects.
You can tune in to UI7 Live on Mondays and Wednesdays. We're about to take a quick break, but stay tuned because soon we'll be back with more Good Morning Illini.
I realized that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realized that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For the university. It's been really nice, obviously, to have a little time off, but luckily during this time, the Illini Union Rec Room has been offering a deal for students to come in and bowl, play pool, or use the arcade room. Good morning, Illini's Maddie Chemers visited the rec room and talked to a student there that found his place in the bowling alley.
The rec room provides the bowling balls and the lanes, but it's the students who bring the fun. For all the spring break days, including this past Tuesday, the Illini Union Rec Room offered deals for bowling and billiards, both just $4, including bowling shoe rental. The chairs and tables in the bowling alley had just been renovated last year before COVID closed everything down, so these days were a great time to encourage students to take a look. Freshman James McCarskey says he used to go bowling with his family, so being able to use his day off in the rec room was pretty comforting.
I don't know, it's just fun to be able to get out and get a different view or different scene, wherever that may be, whether it's just walking around or coming here. And this gives me something to do. It gives me a chance to keep improving something that I love doing.
Tuesday was the last spring break day, and although some students are sad their spring break days have finally come to an end, they are happy to have had them this year at all.
It's helpful for sure. Being able to take a break just in the middle of everything it's nice for breathing, that's for sure, because stuff can pile on, and just knowing that you have an entire day to take a break is really helpful.
The Illini Union Rec Room is still open weekdays 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and 3 to 9 p.m. on the weekends, so if bowling or billiards or even Dance Dance Revolution is calling your name, I'd recommend you head over there. For Good Morning Illini, I'm Maddie Chemers.
Last week, movie night at Memorial Stadium started back up again for the spring semester. Although the event got rained out, they're trying again tomorrow. This weekend, the movie on the big screen is Avengers: Infinity War. Gates open at 7:30 p.m. and the movie starts at 8 p.m. Remember that only students with a valid iCard are allowed in, and make sure to wear a mask. Free popcorn and drinks will be available, but you are allowed to bring in your own food and non-alcoholic drinks. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, and speaking of things to watch, a couple weeks ago we learned how Illini Student Musical storage unit was robbed. But even with the setback, ISM had a chance to have a spring musical this semester, and this year's show is Little Women. In order to abide by COVID-19 guidelines, there will be an orange and blue group who will perform to accommodate the social distancing. Now, let's send it over to Perry Apostolakos to hear more.
Well, Sammy, it certainly has been an intense year for the performing arts, but the cast and crew of Little Women are just happy to be putting on a show live and in person, no matter the distance. Take a look.
It's no secret that the performing arts are struggling with the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic. That's not stopping director Kyle Krish from telling a meaningful story on stage, masks and all.
You know, Little Women is usually just like a coming-of-age tale and something that we can all relate to, even though it's set so long ago. But there's similar things, like they had the Civil War going on, this like overwhelming presence that like keeps them from doing things they love or seeing people they love. Very similar to us right now with quarantine and the pandemic. And we've also been talking a lot about just like the place of women in the world and how there's like this idea of like obligation to family, but then an obligation to yourself, and like how we can marriage that and make it an empowering story as opposed to something that feels defeated.
Owen Henderson, who plays Laurie in the production, notes the relevance of gender norms in this show.
The show deals a lot with issues of gender. I mean, it's in the name, Little Women. It's about Jo's kind of fight to be herself in a time period that was just not accepting of women who wanted to have their own identities separate from men.
No matter your gender identity, Krish says, especially during the pandemic, we can relate to the immortal March Sisters.
You know, we're in a time where theater is limited, and so it's really awesome that we have the opportunity with the university to put on a show. Like I said, we've been working really hard with this idea of marrying obligation with self-fulfillment, which I think we can all feel with like the masks and not maybe going out all the time, and but still being able to be college students, you know, and like be who we are. And so I think it's definitely a timely story, and it's going to touch a lot of hearts. I know that I've shed a tear once or twice in rehearsal already.
You can see the emotional journey of Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy April 23rd through 25th.
Guests of the cast and crew will be invited to see the performance live in the Lincoln Hall Auditorium. Tickets for the general public to stream the musical are currently on sale on the Illini Student Musicals website. Live from the Quad for Good Morning Illini, I'm Perry Apostolakos. Back to you in the studio.
Well, that's going to be certainly exciting. I'm definitely going to buy that stream so I can watch the Little Women. I don't know about you, Sammy.
Yes, actually, one of the girls that lives in the Evans house with me, Granya's in it, one of the freshmen. So we're all really excited. We were talking about doing a little watch party potentially in the basement of our house. So yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. Musicals are always awesome to watch, and it's awesome that our ISM actually got the opportunity to put one on. I'm really excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I'm glad that they were able to overcome that issue they had earlier this year. Anyways, this past week was I Heart Illinois Week. The Illinois Student Alumni Association hosted a number of events throughout the week to spread appreciation for the campus. One of the events on Tuesday was an Illini break. On the last non-instructional day of the semester, students were invited via email to come out to the Quad for free food, giveaways, games, and live entertainment in the form of the Marching Illini. On a warm, sunny day, students were able to take a break and soak up the sun before starting to prepare for finals.
Yes, and this upcoming fall, the Illini Chabad will be opening up as a housing option for Jewish students. As the first U.S. university Jewish-affiliated housing option, the Chabad House will be open its doors this fall semester to serve as a home for the Jewish community. The Chabad is looking to host a tight-knit community for incoming and current students. For more information on the amenities and how to apply to live there, visit certified.housing.illinois.edu. Rabbi David Techtel had some encouraging words for the incoming students staying at the Chabad House this coming year.
I think it also means a lot, that students know that there's a place for them. The hardest thing on campus when you feel that you don't have your space. Lots of dorms are amazing for Jewish students, but having a space where you know that in a micro community, we're only accepting 32 students in here. We could fit 74, we're only taking 32. It's extra special.
All right, yes, obviously it is really awesome to know that as our university grows, it only becomes seemingly more inclusive for a lot of our students. I'm sure many, many members of the Jewish community on campus are really looking forward to the opening of the Chabad. But also, hey, I mean, overall, everything's good. Things are finally starting to open up. Things are looking up. We love ending the show with a great story. In addition to that, we see more kids are getting vaccinated. The university has opened its doors to everybody. And different things like that. Patrick, how are we feeling about this good news?
Yeah, it's awesome that we're kind of opening up. It's nice that we're having like a movie night tonight, kind of like as we used to. I haven't been to one of those since my freshman year, but I'm definitely considering going tonight. I, in fact, got my vaccine, I'd say a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I think was when I got my first one. So, yeah, it's definitely been different. It's nice that we're having less serious COVID, conditions, and that things are improving. So I'm really excited about it.
Yes, definitely. I know, obviously, with Johnson & Johnson putting a halt, the day I was supposed to get it, I woke up to 2 texts from my parents and the FDA putting the halt on it, so it was unfortunate. But this Tuesday, I'm looking to get the vaccine for Moderna. So
there you go. That's what I got.
Yeah. Hey, oh, cool. Same page. Alrighty. Well, you know what? That is all the time we have in store for the show today.
To keep up with GMI outside of Friday mornings, make sure to check out our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for more content. Or if you want to rewatch the show again, visit ui7live.com/WP and our YouTube page. And as always, have a good morning, Illini.
Nailed it.